All right. Episode 7 of the Extra Innings podcast. And I'm here with Evan. Evan is a SEO agency owner in the HVAC and roofing space. Thanks for hopping on, man. I appreciate you making the time.
Yeah, I appreciate the invite. So let's get rolling.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's hop right into this, man. Tell me a little bit about your agency for those who don't know you. Talk to us about your business and kind of your experience and what led you into even getting into that space.
Yeah, so shoot, I've been in marketing since pretty much since I was, I think, 15 or 16. It was the old Ty Lopez SMMA course and everything. Hopped into that I paid full price for it too, which is annoying now because he's like selling it for $40 or something in some specials. So I paid like the $2,000 entry level, whatever price. But
Yeah, but that was also like at the height of his like
that's true.
fame. You know
Yeah,
what I
that
mean? Like that's
yeah,
when his garage with his 700 books was like just
yeah.
hitting its peak. So
Yeah,
I mean, even at 2000, that's not a bad deal.
that's a good point. That's a good point. But honestly, like people can say whatever you want about him and his courses, but like really, there probably wasn't the most advanced stuff in there, but it launched my career. So I mean, I can't really say anything remotely negative about it. It's all positive stuff. So I loved it. But yeah, started in that and did some stuff for my family's restaurant, and that was kind of like the initial, I guess you want to call it like client was testing phase with that, and then ultimately stumbled into the influencer space, if you kind of want to call it that, helping out mainly people in the course selling space for stock trading. So guys like Cameron Foose, I helped him out, Sang Lucci, Bulls on Wall Street, a lot of bigger names in that space specifically. Mainly on the content production side, systems, email marketing, Facebook ads, Google ads, all that fun stuff. Um, yeah, ultimately about a year ago, decided that industry is not for me, especially because I was getting into more of content production and social media content. I just don't personally like that space. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I just didn't like where my career in agency was heading in that direction. So stumbled upon SEO like 3 years ago,
So,
and
so
yeah,
let's dive a little deeper into that, man, because I think that's an important part. So, like, obviously, I'm in marketing too, but I also have like a background in insurance and sales, and so there's kind of that same thing. I mean, it's just business 101, right? Like, you take your business where you want it to go, and sometimes you come across things where you realize this isn't the direction I want to go. So, what was it specifically about that portion of the space that you didn't like that made you want to kind of shift in a different direction? Because I've kind of done that myself as well, but I'm curious to hear kind of what made you make that change.
yeah. I mean, with the social media side of things, there's a couple things on it. One, I didn't necessarily like that I was, I didn't have much control over what was really going out. I would give suggestions, but it would be based on like trends and stuff. And, I would try to give some things. I was like, hey, these are some more unique topics that would work. Let's try this. But it would be, nah, I don't want to try that. And nothing against the guys that I was working with. They're all fantastic people, but it was just, you're kind of like trying to play that balance between this is what's going to work
Yeah.
and what they want to do. So I didn't have much control over the inputs and thus just was kind of rolling with whatever the outputs were. So I was like, okay, this isn't really the space I want to be in. Plus, we can get into a whole other debate, but social media is a freaking mess right now. I didn't like that my
I
day was spent scrolling through there looking for ideas and getting fogged up with a bunch of garbage. And yeah, I was like, I need to step out of this space. I didn't like that there was no direct, if I was going to scale, like no direct I know there's like a bunch of like ways you can, track revenue from social media, but it wasn't as direct as like SEO and
Yeah.
clicks and form submissions and calls. So for those myriad of reasons, that's why I just decided to step away from that space a little bit. But
Okay. Fair
yeah.
enough. So you've made the shift. Now you're in SEO. What got you into kind of the HVAC slash roofing industry specifically? It's good that you niche down. Like that's what I recommend most business owners do, right? Like that's going to be the easiest for targeting in the long run, which makes your sales process significantly easier, right? But That's an interesting industry to get into in the HVAC space because I feel like it's kind of underserved.
Yeah, it's so a lot of people have their niches that they start with or whatnot, where it's like my dad was a plumber or an HVAC technician, or I worked at it. I didn't really have that. My dad's a restaurant owner, so I knew I didn't want to go into restaurants. Uh, my mom's a property manager. I didn't want to help property managers, so I kind of knew what I didn't want to go towards. And as far as HVAC and roofing, really it was I wanted to help people with higher ticket services that are in competitive areas. So when you look at HVAC and roofers and contractors, it's flooded with so much information, so many books, courses on how to get clients and all that. And just scrolling through, like I was looking, so I'm in Tampa up at Zephyr Hills, which is about a 25,000 person population in that area. There are 27 HVAC companies just on the Maps pack alone. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's a
it's
lot of
crazy.
competition.
A lot. So if you can help these people actually, get out of their business and get out of door knocking and all this stuff, then that's a very big positive impact you can have. And it doesn't take, like a restaurant, for example, and this is kind of for the SEO people, you need a lot of foot traffic to come in and a lot of lower ticket sales. But if you get someone 5 to 10 extra HVAC installations a month based off your efforts, that's life changing for them. And that's, as you know, it's pretty easy to hit that if you follow the right process. So
Absolutely. Side note to that, I want to piggyback off of that. If you are still doing door to door sales, I know there's a lot of people that do that. Stop fucking doing it. It's annoying. Nobody likes it. So if you can get an SEO strategy where you're organically getting people to just reach out to you and go to your website, go to your Google business profile and fill out a form to schedule a call with you, to schedule a time to talk, to schedule installation, an estimate, whatever the case may be, like it's so much better and it's so much less time and effort. It's just like a set it and forget it type of deal, especially if you're hiring an agency, to do it for you. Because I mean, I lived in Fort Myers for probably the last like 8 years, and I just moved out to Cape Coral about 6 months ago, 8 months ago. In 8 years in Fort Myers, I never had one salesperson ever knock on my door. In Cape Coral, in 8 months, we've had at least 25 to 30 people knock on our doors to the point where I'm ready to throw hands with people. It's so annoying. I'm ready to like punch these dudes in the face because I mean, at the end of the day, they see all these, these influencers on like TikTok and now everyone's documenting their journey, which is great. But then you have like these sales guys who, frankly fucking suck at selling. They suck at it. And they think that like creating content, they're like, whether it's good or bad, I'm gonna get content out of it. And if I get rejected or someone curses me out, it's great for my content, And it's like these people have turned from fucking salespeople into just content creators, and in the process, they're just annoying the shit out of people. So
yep,
don't be
I
that
agree.
person. Invest into
No,
SEO.
yeah, that's the thing. Like unpacking that a little bit too. You're getting approached, like you said, multiple times a month from people that you don't know who the heck they are. You don't want their service, most likely. You need to be convinced and all this fun stuff. SEO, it's very high intent. That's another reason why I went into it. I'm sure you did too, is because if you want a new AC unit or need it, not even want it, need it, or repair, you're literally typing into Google and you're going to people that service that. So it's very high intent. There's no fun funnels you have to make and creative emails and all this. It's, do they want this service? Yes. Can you serve them a page that solves that service? Yes. Perfect. There you go. Match made in heaven. It's not that much to it.
I wish more people understood that. That's a huge portion of our pitch internally because we do pay-per-click calls through Google for insurance agents looking for car and home insurance leads, right? And people, especially in our industry, get caught up so much in like the price per call. And they're like, oh, I could go to, EverQuote. I could go to Quote Wizard. I could go to Smart Financial and I could buy a shared lead, which is being generated off of like Facebook for $4. They're like, oh, I can go get a lead for $8. Why am I going to pay $25, per call? It's like the intent. The
Yeah.
intent is why you have someone calling you instead of you calling them 30 times. You have someone calling you and the intent is already there because they've given the intent to Google when they searched for it. That's
Yep.
how they're in front of you. You know what I mean? As opposed to someone just seeing the form, filling it out, not wanting to be called because they think they're going to get an email or they think they're going to get a quote sent over to them without giving you any information on even getting that quote. It's just it's a different mindset that I think a lot of business owners need to learn to adapt to really understand like the price per call, the price per quote, the price per lead. In the end of it, like it doesn't fucking matter what the price is as long as the intent is there and you're profitable on it. And if you can
Yep.
tie that back to profitability, then great. If you're not profitable on it, then it doesn't matter how much you paid for it. Like you're not profitable, so it doesn't matter.
Yep.
But
Do you want
so
quality or quantity? That's
I
the
mean, you
thing.
could do both.
Yeah, that's
If
true
you have
too.
enough money,
Yeah,
you
you
have
got a
enough
point.
money, you could just do both. You know, and so okay. So tell us about some of the services that you offer for the HVAC and roofing space.
Yeah, so mainly right now, local SEO and just general SEO. So we're helping you rank in the Maps pack and also the search results. Exploring some Google ads at the moment to maybe tack that on to our service. But yeah, we're kind of in like a building phase, doing really well as is just on the current model. But I know I talked to you a little bit off of this podcast at that, but I'm trying to really vamp up our bonuses and offerings because I've had some churn come in lately from companies saying, "Hey, we're getting a lot of leads. We're just not closing them. We need to like slow down." So, trying to weave in some very custom specific sales scripts and processes, checklists, SOPs for their technicians, for customer service reps, for their salespeople, owners, sales managers, everything. So, really trying to vamp up and elevate us above just being an SEO company to actually being kind of a company that helps you in all areas. And that's also another benefit of niching down. If I was servicing everybody, then I don't even know how I would create custom tailored scripts and everything for processes for every industry out there. So
Yeah,
very specific.
it'd be a mess, man. That's and I mean, even on like I'm gonna tie a lot back to insurance agents since that's kind of our network. But it's like it really ties down to marketing. Like if you were and I see this all the time, like in insurance, you have independent agents and you have captive agents. Captive agents are like your Allstates, your State Farms, they're franchises that just sell like their company's product. And so you have independent agents who can go out and get contracted with Progressive, get contracted with Liberty Mutual, Safeco. Like you could go out, get a million different contracts from different carriers, and there really is no limit as long as those carriers are appointing agents. And so a lot of agents who go into independent and open independent agencies come from that captive, from a captive carrier like an Allstate or a State Farm, and their mentality is I'm limited in who I can help because I only have one carrier. So I'm going to go independent so I can sell to everyone. And that's a fucking recipe for disaster when you have that mentality. It's good to have options, but at the end of the day, if you don't know how to fucking market to one client base with one company, then you're going to build an absolute shit book of business trying to service and sell to everyone. And then
Yeah.
and that's where a lot of them fail. That's why like in the insurance space, like 92% of agents are out of the business within 5 years. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
it's because they don't understand like how to build a meaningful book of business. They spread their business so thin across so many books, and then those carriers go out of business, they withdraw, they drop half their books, and people are left scrambling because they have no processes in place, they have no marketing set in place. Like it's very easy to just say, okay, I'm with one company, I'm going to build my book through this company, I'm going to set all my marketing for this company, this client avatar, this ideal client. And then if someone doesn't fit, then I have options if they don't fit. But all my focus is going to be building out this one main company. And that's how business should be done. So I I'm glad that you're kind of doing the same thing with focusing on one. Now I do have a question for you. Maybe it's something for you to think of as you build your business, because I've heard it. That you're trying to ramp up and you're trying to add on other services because of churn, which obviously, like for people who aren't in marketing, churn in marketing is the highest of any fucking industry.
Yep.
It's very, very difficult to retain clients because you could, even in that situation, right? Like, and I've had that happen too, where it's like, you're not doing anything wrong, but the business may have salespeople who suck at selling, which is
Yep.
most salespeople, right? Like, majority of salespeople suck. So if you're doing your job, but the people that the leads are being delivered to on that business suck and they can't close, well, it doesn't mean you did a bad job, but they're not going to continue wasting money because their own salespeople can't close it out. So it's it's interesting
Yep.
from that perspective. But what I would say is, if I were you, I would consider doing like digital assets and selling those digital assets. So
Mm.
and a lot of marketing agencies do this. They don't really promote it, but they do it. And what you do is you create, let's say, a landing page or a website, and you build it super localized. And this is something that we're doing too. So I'm giving kind of a heads up on what we do, and you
Mm.
could maybe implement it yourself. But what we do is we'll build out websites or funnels. And this is the first time I'm saying it publicly, so no one really even knows this yet. Um, but we build out a funnel or a website that's super localized to a city. We build out all the assets behind it, the domain name, the website, the product, the service, lead forms, ads, everything behind it, and then sell that as an entire package to a specific business. Now you're basically finding already the target area
Mm-hmm.
to reach out to, right? And then I can go and say, okay, I have this website for home insurance leads in, I don't know, random city, let's say Phoenix, right? In Phoenix, Arizona, right? And it's phoenixhomeinsuranceleads.com, right? And I've built out the website. We're running a little bit of traffic to it through paid ads. We're also getting the organic traffic. We're developing leads, let's say 1 to 2 leads a day. Now I take that asset and I say, okay, I'm going to go to 20 insurance agents and say, hey, I have a website that's already producing leads, a ad at this amount of ad spend per month that's running every single day, and the domain name, all that, the website, we're selling the entire package for $5,000, $10,000, whatever the case may be, right? I mean, you could just take however
Mm.
many leads you have, put it at a multiple across the year, and just sell it at that price.
I like
You
that.
know,
Yeah. So you're kind of prepping it all for them, and then
you prep it,
literally saying, "Hey, we already have this
you prep
developed."
it,
It's
you
kind of like
churn
the
it
rent
out.
and rent
Yeah,
model in
and
a
it's
way,
all
but
and,
you're
and it'll all be localized, which a lot of them like to see, right?
yeah.
And so I could take, if I do that with a website and I'm running traffic, let's say it's $250 a month in ad spend, right? They're still gonna have to have someone manage it. And since I'm running it through my account, they would still have to just either, fund it through me or just pay me a management fee to manage it on top of funding the ad spend. But it gets them to also come in as an opportunity to run the managed ads, which we're already doing. And
Yeah.
so now I could go ahead and say, all right, cool. I'll sell you the website. I'll sell you the ads that come with it. You can continue doing that. And we'll do it at a reduced management cost since we already have the ad running. Now I can make a quick $5,000 sale, for something that might have cost me $250 to put together with the ad spend.
Yeah. So you still have a continuity piece on it too, with kind of like consulting on it or
Yeah.
managing the actual
Yeah.
scaling
And then
and
we have the
spend.
management ad. And typically for us, it's $500 on Facebook for any ad spend under 2,500. So if it's $500 a month, we'll do it at half the price, $250 a month,
Yeah.
right? So we still get that continuous monthly recurring revenue, and now they own all that.
Yeah.
They own it, and so it's a digital asset that we can sell off.
I like
And
that.
it's a good way just to kind of supplement all the other stuff that we do, because not everyone wants to pay monthly managed ads, but if they own it, they don't have a choice. Like, you own it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. And
You own
that's the
it.
thing too. It's like that's very big on like the differentiation piece, which a lot of people that get into any space just don't think about. It's kind of like the I think it's Nathan Gotch came up with it, or he read it somewhere and basically reset it, but it was like try and be the purple cow in your industry. And I like that because it's like, what can you offer that's different with that model? It's offering speed of execution and pretty much immediate leads. The second that someone could swipe their card and leads start coming in, that's why LSA is such a big thing now, is because of that. So I like that model where it's, hey, we literally have it for you. Here it is. You want it, and then you have a whole bucket list of people that, if one by one go down, they all want leads. So you'll find one somewhere in that mix,
Yep.
but in any city. So yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. That's good.
And there's another marketer who's kind of in my network. So I think you and I have already spoke about this in the past. I'm part of Apex, and so there's
Mm.
another member in Apex. His name's Andrew McChesney. He
Yep,
runs
I know him. He's a
Height
killer.
Visual. Yeah,
Yeah.
he does the same thing with digital assets, and he's really really good. So that's a good person also to follow, and kind of check in on what he's doing, because he's doing it the right way. Um,
Yeah.
so, all right, cool. Well, all right. So next question. So, and this is going to be off topic from business. I mean, it's still business to some extent, but
Mm.
I don't know if this is something that you do regularly, but you have done it in the past, which is sell watches. Because I
Yeah.
bought my tag hero off you, which I'm wearing
Yep.
right now.
Hey, there
Um,
you go.
so, how long have you been doing that? And is that something that you do regularly, or is it just kind of like a, just side thing, or was it just happen to be like a watch that you just had
Yeah.
you weren't wearing, so you sold it? Because I mean, not for nothing, I got a pretty. You gave me a pretty damn good deal on this watch.
Yeah, you gotta go. I think I broke even on that one. So I was like,
Oh man,
you got in for my cost. But yeah, I mean, I was into like the watch flipping or trading space, if you want to call it that, in a little bit before COVID pandemic, and kind of rode that wave until now. It was more of a hobby that I got into it with my buddy Matt, who's in a lot of the Moda groups. And if you're not in the Moda groups, you're missing out
yeah,
on
yeah,
Facebook.
I know that.
You got to pop into those; they're great. Um, yeah, it was something I always liked watches, but I never wanted to go into a Mayors and sink 4K into one, then immediately walk out the door and lose $1,000. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, it's probably a way to enjoy these a lot. And I mean, at this point, I've had well over 150, 175 watches
Oh
in
my
hand,
god.
and there got to a point too where about a year ago when I kind of stopped, I was like, wasn't really making a lot of the money for the time I was putting in. It wasn't as fun as it was. I still kind of collect some for fun now, but it was like you start to get desensitized to what's coming in the door. It was just like, I got a Submariner in. It was like nice two tone. It was the bluesy. I was like, yeah, it's cool, but
Yeah.
it's
I
just
just like
like they started to become
everything.
just pieces. It was like,
Yeah.
okay. So I kind of stepped away from that. I got my Fitbit on right
That's
now,
awesome.
but I still have some that come in. If I see it on a group, I'll buy it. But it's just a cool skill to learn, as because you can get an asset in and just basically move your savings account into the asset for a bit, and once you're bored of it, move it back out, break
Yeah.
even or make money. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's nothing I'm doing now for profit, I guess, but it's more just a little hobby.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. And it's great for networking too, man. Like people don't understand. Like I I I talk to a lot of people who don't even like appreciate watches too much. Like they don't understand what can come from a watch. And I think the
Mhm.
most important part of watches is like just even having a decent watch, like an entry level nice watch, like a tag, or an entry level like a date just or something like that, right? Where it's not breaking the bank for where watches can go, but it's still a recognizable piece. It's a conversation starter. And a conversation starter, if you're already in the right groups of people, gets you introduced to people because it's a conversation starter. You know, like when I went to the Apex event in like December or November of last year, like dude, you can look at one person's wrist who didn't have a Rolex or something significant on. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm talking about like some crazy fucking pieces, iced out watches and shit. And it's like, dude, you could go up to anyone and just talk to them about their watch. It's a great conversation starter, especially for someone like me. I'm kind of introverted. So it's like I'm not great at starting a conversation, but if I see a nice watch, I'm be like, yo, what is that?
Yeah.
And kind of start having that conversation. So I wish more people did that. Plus, like obviously the value on most watches, as long as it's not like an Invicta or some cheap ass watch, it's gonna increase in value. Like I don't think I own
Yeah.
a watch like that hasn't increased in value in the first 3 months that I owned it. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So, like you said, it's a safe investment if you're looking at it from that standpoint too, because you get to wear it, and then if you're tired of it, just go fucking sell it, make some money off of it.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, at most, the only one I've ever lost money on was the one that I went very emotional with. I bought a fully iced out Cartier Roadster on like one of the auctions for, I paid like 16 grand for it. I think I sold it for 13.5, and I was like,
Oh
yeah, I
man,
wore it a couple times, and I don't club. I don't really go to parties and
yeah.
stuff.
So
So I was
the
wearing it
diamond.
wearing it through Publix, and my girlfriend's like, "You look like an asshole with that on." I was like, that's that's fair. So I
Fair
wore
enough.
it maybe
Yeah,
5 times. So
fair
if you
stuff.
do get into watch trading, you're gonna have one or two that you're like, you'll lose money on, and those are always the emotional ones. But
Yeah,
hey, get it out of your system once, and then just go enjoy the rest. But yeah, it's a great networking piece. We wouldn't be here if I didn't
yeah.
list that tag. So
Absolutely true. And you know what's crazy? I was looking for a tag for the longest, but I didn't want to pay it at retail, um, because it was just like when you look through Moda, there's so many good ones, but tag doesn't come through very often. But
mm-mm.
usually when they come through, it's at a really fucking good deal. And I like to kind of swap out straps a lot. So like I use like on my date dress, I took off the Jubilee bracelet and I put on horse straps on it,
Yep.
which are like great. It's very easy to get in and out. Um, but there was a tag, an aqua racer, um, that I saw online that had red horror straps. And I'll send you the picture of it. It looks so fucking sick. So fucking sick.
That's
I'm
clean.
like, I need an aqua racer now, and I need an aqua racer so I could buy these straps and throw it on. And then literally that day that I saw it, like that I was looking at it, because I'm also on Chrono
Mm.
24 all the time. And I saw that pop up and I'm like, I gotta go on Mo to see if there's anything available. And I had just seen your post on it, and I was like, "What? At this price, I'm getting it. Let
Yep.
me just connect with this guy
Yeah, it
and
was
get
like
it."
a 15-minute sale, so hey, easy on my end too.
Yeah, it's quick, man. You were easy to deal with. It wasn't a hassle. I've had other people where the negotiation process wasn't as smooth, but
No, that's
cool,
for
man.
sure.
Um, so all right, I want to go into now kind of a piece for younger entrepreneurs because you're pretty young, right? I don't know your exact age, but I know you're pretty fucking young.
Yep, just
Um,
turned 25, so yep.
yeah, so you're young. So what advice would you have for someone who's your age or younger that's looking to start their own digital marketing agency?
Love it. All right, so I've lost so much time and money, and it's like I am 25, so not a ton of time, but so much money. Let's put it at that. Of bouncing from thing to thing to thing to industry to industry to industry, and now you'll only see me doing search marketing. That's it. Like right now, that's all I'm gonna be doing for whatever amount of time. Okay. Maybe I'll bolt on stuff, but once I'm at a certain point where I can delegate a lot of that. So just don't bounce from trend to trend, from thing to thing. If you look 2 years ago, I had like 7 LLCs open, wasn't even making much money. It's just like I had a cleaning business going on. I had the watch stuff. I had different, like 7 different things I was doing inside of digital marketing itself, servicing everyone with a pulse and a credit card. So like the number one thing, it's hard. It's everyone talks about it. And you're like, I could juggle 2 things at once. No, you can't. Can't do it. Can't do it right. So just niche down, figure out who you want to work with, who your target audience is, what your best service is, and just go level forth into that thing. Like just learn everything you can about it, study everything you can about it, become the master at that, become the master at servicing that niche with that product. And then from there, like I said, we're moving a little bit into Google Ads, but I'm probably not even going to add that on officially for the next 12 months. It's going to be in the testing phase. So mastering SEO, and then you kind of just pick pieces and start to pull them in slowly, but just don't please do not do everything. Don't do it. It's not fun. Don't do it.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult to scale at that too because when you come out with digital marketing, if you're opening a digital marketing agency, technically you're not really an agency, you're a freelancer, right?
Yep.
And so when you start off as a freelancer and you're trying to offer everything, you're never going to be good at anything. and you're going to lose clients before you're able to acquire them.
Yep.
Like that's just the truth, you know. So when you're able to just scale down and, like you said, learn everything about that one piece first, you build a business off the back of that, and then you can start to peel off as you make more money, and you can hire people to do those other things. So that's great advice, man. um, Here's
Yep.
a question I like to ask every business owner I talk to, and you don't have to share this if you don't want to, but for me personally, I'm like kind of like, I don't want to call myself a visionary because I'm not a visionary. I'm more of like a dreamer. And some of my dreams I convert into actual things. Um, and so when I have these ideas, I kind of let them simmer. I have this rule of thumb where if I have an idea that I really, really fucking can't stop thinking about, like it's just consuming my mind 24/7, I put it in my notes on my iPhone, or I'll put it in like Evernote,
Yep.
and then I close it for 90 days. And 90 days later, if I still feel the exact same way, then I know that I have an idea I need to like move forward with. And so that is usually tied some way to the roadmap of what's next in store for my business, right? And I try to have everything kind of correlate. I've also made mistakes in the past where it's like, I like, oh my God, January of last year, right? I was like, fuck this. This is the year I'm going to go acquire 3 businesses. I'm going to go get a professional sports team. I'm going to do all these things. And by like the second week of January, I acquired 2 online businesses and I had ownership in a professional soccer team. And I'm like, what the fuck did I just get myself into? You know what I mean? Because none of the soccer team's cool because it's just kind of passive. But the 2 online businesses I had didn't align with what I already had in place, which I was still building. I was only 1 year into the process of my marketing agency. So I think it's important to kind of know the roadmap of what's next. But some people don't even have that roadmap of like what's next because they're still building for now. So, and I'm sorry for being long winded on this question, but um, what's next in your roadmap? What does your future look like for your business? Where do you see it going in the next 3, 5, 10 years?
Yeah, 3 to 5, 10 years. I mean, I'll kind of say the 3 to 5 point is just staying exactly where we're at. I mean, it sounds not like revenue wise, obviously, but the same niches, the same core services, which is search marketing and lead generation. So just getting the best at that. I don't want to be sidestepping into other verticals. Maybe it'll come quicker to where we're saying, hey, maybe we can go into remodeling. Maybe we can help plumbers, electricians. But for now, it's just going to be honing in on our product, making the service the best it can be, servicing who we want. And then down the road, I would say 5 years plus, sure, we'll start to sidestep into some verticals that are, we feel like we can help the best at that point. But I do like the idea for, uh, kind of creating a consult for equity model in some capacity, or, services for equity model. So that might be something to build like a portfolio of home service businesses and then scale them up from our methods. So something down the line, but really in the next 3 to 5 years, it's just fully sticking to where we're at, like just becoming the best search marketing company for HVAC and roofers. So if I get out of line with that, I mean, we might even be just niching down to just HVAC here soon. So it's, yeah, becoming literally the best at that. That's the roadmap.
That's what I like to hear, man. A lot of people need to do that. You know, I like to hear that. That's awesome. All right, I got 2 more questions, and sorry if you heard me typing, but like because we're on StreamYard, I don't know if you've ever used StreamYard, but like you create banners. So like I
Mhm.
have questions that I like to ask my guest, and I just put them into banners without like actually showing them,
Mhm.
just so that I could have kind of my thoughts,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
what I want to ask. But I mean, I guess I could show it too. So like with your business, what does your tech stack look like?
I like that. That's cool.
if,
I like
if,
that like, little banner down there. That's awesome.
yeah, I could actually. You know what? Let's do this. Hold on. Scroll it across like a ticker. There we go.
That's awesome. Okay, I need to get StreamYard because I'm using Zoom for
Dude,
mine.
StreamYard's awesome.
This is great.
Super,
But
super easy to use too.
yeah, our tech stack's pretty lean. Um, for internally, it's mainly run everything on HubSpot,
Yeah.
and externally, like I said, we're trying to really lifen up or vamping up our service offerings in the sense of helping. I mean, most of these HVAC companies and roofers that we work with operate off spreadsheets. They'll operate off some like year-long free trial of some obscure CRM. So we're trying to bring in service titans and work kind of like on a white label ish. With their, which if you don't know them, they're pretty much the best CRM for HVAC, plumbers, roofers, anyone in that home service where they're dispatching technicians out.
No.
So that's going to be a big core piece, hopefully here pretty soon. House call is another one we're looking into. But yeah, really, I keep it as lean as possible. I mean, HubSpot runs everything. I run follow up sequences off that, scheduling, everything. So it's pretty lean. I've gotten a lot of software overload before. That's another thing. This looks cool, that looks cool. Um, I just go with the biggest and best CRM, HubSpot, super simple, easy to go.
Fair enough. Yeah, we I just had a huge undertaking. We just moved, so we were using, because and just to give you a little context on ClickRush. So like for us, it was never really intended for ClickRush to turn into a full agency. Like I sold my insurance agency in December of 21, and January of 22 I started offering marketing services to insurance agents because I had sold my agency, my insurance agency, and I was getting paid every month for the next 2 years. So I was like, what do I do with my time now? I'm getting paid and I have 24 hours of nothing to do, and at that time I didn't have my twins yet. So like it was just my son who's in daycare. So I'm literally at home and I'm like, dude, I have nothing to do. So when I started offering it as a service, it was done to fill some time and to make some extra money in the process and kind of just have a proof of concept that what I did in my own agency would work for others. And it did. And so I started off essentially basically just being like a freelancer just to kill some time. So we used Notion originally. And Notion's fucking great. It's free. You can pretty much use Zapier to integrate anything into it. But the amount of the limitations within the actual system, if you're trying to grow a business, just didn't suffice once I started bringing salespeople on and everyone else. Um, so I just had a huge undertaking, not this past weekend, but the one before, where we moved everything over to Go High Level.
Mm.
And dude, Go High Level, I don't know if you've ever used it, but it's fucking awesome, man. Like, I mean, the majority of CRMs and stuff, like, kind of white label it. So it's all
Yeah.
basically, if you've ever seen the funnel with all the different colors, and it's Go High Level.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just moved everything over into there, and it's been fucking incredible. Like such a good system. But I was the same way, man. Like I had, because of the services that we offer, we do landing pages, we do websites, we do ads, and we do Google Business Profile Management. Like we had different apps for every single one of them.
Yeah.
Like so, Go High Level allowed us to kind of condense most of that into one system, and then it saves me like $500 a month.
Yep.
Not having
Yeah.
to use systems.
Trying to keep it lean. It's the
Yeah.
main thing is that it's
And there's really no need to spend a lot of money at this point, like for anyone,
no.
especially if you're like a brand new marketing owner, like digital marketing agency or a freelancer. Like there is no need to be spending money on apps because there's everything that you need to get the foundation of your business started is free. You get Notion for free. You have Google for free, Gmail. I mean, everything, Google Sheets, like
Yep.
everything there to get the foundation is free. And when you're starting a business, you should be lean.
Yeah.
Like at least for the first 3 to 5 years, like shouldn't invest too heavily into technology until you
Yeah.
have like a really really solid foundation. So
Yep.
okay, cool. I like that. I like that your business is lean. That means you're financially
Lean
uh,
and mean. That's it.
it's financially intelligent to not
Yeah.
be wasting money on on
Yep.
tech. I've got one last question for you. Um,
Yep. Swap the banner. Let's see.
yeah, I'm going to show the banner right now. What 3 books do you recommend to any new entrepreneur?
To any new one, definitely first one, $100 million offers, Alex Hormozy, classic. That's 100% that one. Then I would go straight into $100 million leads, kind of let them compound, and then after that, that's a tough one because I kind of go into more niche specific books, but if it's just general entrepreneurship, I would say it's which one is it? Here we go. Pull it out. I have a lot of books, like a lot. And there's very few that I actually keep going back to, but this is another one too.
Yep.
Next 5 moves. So I
Yep.
would say those three are fantastic. But after that, just go into your niche. I mean, I have a lot of different SEO books that I've dove into, but pretty much those are three I love for just general entrepreneurship, and especially to figure out what to sell offers is fantastic. Like my buddy's going through it right now and he has really no idea what he wants to sell besides helping people save money. And now he has some massive offer that he's going out and selling. It's super intricate, dialed in. He's basically helping entrepreneurs that are between $50 and $80,000 a year save money, save $5,000 in 7 days, and then continuously grow their income after that. So that's a fantastic one. But all three of those, they're cheap, great, they're
Yeah.
fantastic.
Those are good options. I see Tribe Mentors behind you.
Yep.
I just started that 2 days ago. It's like my nightly reading session. It's Tribe
Yeah,
Mentors. It's a great book.
it's
Um,
good.
but yeah, dude, your next 5 moves, Patrick Bet-David, great fucking book. Great book. I think I made a Facebook post a couple of months ago, like saying that's probably the best book on business I've ever read.
Yeah.
Like it's up there. Um,
All of them
that's
are very actionable too. I mean, that's the thing. I hate the books that are just very like not philosophical, but there's no like action on it. There's no steps to take. It's just words. These are
yeah.
all action based. So it's nice.
That's it's fun you say that, man, because I have a Facebook group called Insurance Growth Workshops, and we used to do a live training every single month on Zoom within the group, and then we would do 1 to 2 in-person events across the U.S. Every year for insurance agents, teaching them literally actionable steps only. Like to be a guest, there was no pitching from stage. We had
That's
no
awesome.
vendors, right? So you weren't allowed to pitch from stage. You weren't allowed to, we didn't have vendors. I mean, I could have easily made 20 grand just having vendors there. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they'll pay to be there. But I just didn't want it to have that experience because I went to a conference um, where it was literally just a fucking pitch fest.
It's
And
terrible.
I'm like, and it's great for motivation, but it's like my theory is if you need to be motivated, you fucking suck at your job. Like you're in the wrong profession. I'm
Yep.
fucking motivated. I just need
Yep.
actionable things that I can implement to fucking get better at my job. I don't need the motivation. I'm already motivated. That's why I'm here. You
Yeah,
know,
that's a good point. That's why I showed up. It's
yeah,
like,
that's why I'm here. I'm already motivated. So the last thing I want to do is spend the next 2 days at this event hearing from people who are trying to motivate me. I don't want
yeah.
to hear that shit. I want to hear the nitty gritty. Tell me what I need to do. Give me actionable steps. So that's how insurance growth workshops came out. I came out of that event. I'm like, fuck that. I could do it better
Yeah.
for agents, like to feed my own need of getting actionable shit out. So, yeah, I'm glad you said that too, man. I'm on the same page. Like,
Yep.
I wish more people gave actionable things so that people could just get better. But with that being said, what are some ways that people can get a hold of you? If we have anyone in the HVAC or roofing space that wants to do business with you, where can they reach you at? Give
Yeah.
us your 30-second pitch.
Yeah. It's a quick pitch. Just at Evan Seech on Instagram, which is EvanSeech. Starting content on there. Got a new YouTube coming out too. So in kind of a rebranding phase, you'll in about probably a week from dropping this, be able to find me on literally SEO for HVAC companies.com. Go there. Again, very niche down. I'm not being crazy branded, just going super niche on that. And militiamarketing.com is going to be kind of where everything's hosted in terms of different podcasts I'm putting out, all the brand assets. So yeah, all those spots. But probably right now, best hit me up on Instagram if you had any questions or anything, and just like connecting with people. So I appreciate it.
Awesome. And you also have a group on school.com.
Yep. Yeah. So that we just kicked off. It's called Militia Marketing. So just type in Militia Marketing on School, hop in. It's free. I'll be pulling in different guests. Gonna be pulling in Victor here pretty soon too. And yeah, really, my whole goal for that community is to supply it with content and information from experts in different industries. So later this month, for example, I got a guy coming on that's just been doing cold email for 7 years, and he's making a mini course on that in a webinar. I have another one that is just done filming and content production for like 10 years. So really trying to build that community up with experts in different industries, kind of like the Ty Lopez model. We'll bring it full circle. And yeah, so hop in there too. 100% free. Never going to charge anything in there. So
Awesome. Cool, man. I appreciate you hopping on again, man. This was a great call. I look forward to having you on again at some point in the future, and then we'll connect. Go add him on Instagram, Facebook, and go join school.com. That's SKOOL.com, and it's militia marketing. Right?
yep.
Militia
Militia
marketing.
marketing.
Cool. All right, man. I appreciate it.
Sweet. I appreciate it. Thank you.